Hey, what's up guys? Barry B. Benson here, back again with another video. I just got finished doing a small collab with Deadly Mouse. That video is probably already out because as I'm recording this and everything, he's in the process of posting that video. So make sure to go check out Deadly Mouse's new video. Anyways, I'm sorry. This video was originally supposed to come out last week or the week before that maybe. Depends on when you're watching this. Depends on when this even gets uploaded. But what happened was I was actually working on a different iceberg video, which I'm not going to spoil because I'm going to do it another time. But 3 days ago, I went on to go work on it. And for some reason, my iceberg video's file got corrupted. So I never backed it up, so I couldn't do anything. So I had to delete it. A couple other videos files got corrupted, so I also had to delete those, but those aren't as big of a deal. So because of that, we're not gonna do that iceberg today. We're gonna do a different one. So I'm sorry, I meant to upload a week ago. So please forgive me. Just forgive me and subscribe. Promise I'll actually produce content on a regular basis now. Now that my mic is shut off, I can talk about my plans on how I'm not going to produce content on a regular basis. Wait a minute, this is still on, crap! Oh, by the way, I know this is only a couple seconds after the part I'm talking about, but I forgot to mention in the beginning part because I was too busy setting up my funny XD joke. But how do you guys like my intro I made? It's pretty short and it's not very entertaining, but tell me what you think. Anyways, let's talk about this iceberg. Anyways, for today's video, we're going to be looking at the Nickelodeon iceberg, as you can tell from on screen. Wait a minute. Crap, this isn't the right iceberg. Let me just get the right one up. There we go. So, if you're wondering what that other iceberg was, it was the prototype version. That version only included stuff about real life Nickelodeon, executives and stuff. Well, this one also includes stuff about the cartoons and real life stuff. So, now with that out of the way, let's just jump right into it. SpongeBob in Tehran. So, by the way, sorry if I don't pronounce any of this stuff correctly. Anyways, this entry is referring to a bootleg movie called SpongeBob in Tehran. It's hard to understand, at least for me, because the only version I can find has English subtitles, but not English dubbing. So, you're just gonna have to take my word on it. I watched the full thing because it's on YouTube. Anyways, it's simple. Basically, SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward have to go to Iran for some reason to meet this cashier dude from the one episode. And they just go to Iran and just eat at a ton of restaurants for some reason. And that's it. They also meet this cat. I know it's hard to understand what exactly happens because I barely even know what happens. A lot of weird stuff also happens. For example, Mr. Krabs pulls like 4 guns on SpongeBob, some cat dude appears, and also people laugh at Squidward whenever he wears a shirt with the guy on it. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl is like a Nickelodeon fighting game, basically. Its origins are from the Super Brawl series, such as games like Super Brawl, Super Brawl 2, Super Brawl 3, Good vs. Evil, etc., which were Flash games that include Nickelodeon characters, but was more like a Street Fighter style game, while this game is more like Smash Bros. It still gets updates and adds DLC characters, stages, stuff like that, and it's pretty fun if you ask me. Hot take here, but I don't think it's far off from beating Multiverses, as long as it started getting more updates frequently. The Nick Choice Awards. The Nick Choice Awards, also known as the Kids' Choice Awards, is basically something that Nickelodeon does every year, where they play like an hour-long special thing where they get a celebrity to host a small thing where they do some events, usually involving slime, along with revealing the winners for stuff like Best TV Show, Best Actor, Best Voice Actor, stuff like that. And then the people win like a blimp award, and then they get slime. It's pretty cool. Jimmy Neutron. This is referring to the Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius TV show and movie. It was originally created as a short called Johnny Quasar, Runaway Rocket Boy, which was about a kid named Johnny Quasar, aka the prototype for Jimmy Neutron. After a little while, the creator was able to pitch it to Nickelodeon as Jimmy Neutron, and Nickelodeon stated that it would be not only really good as a TV show, they liked the concept of making it into a movie. So that's what happened. If you're wondering why the movie came out first, it's actually due to the fact that the creator said he wanted the movie first because then the TV show's models could be the same quality as movie models, which is pretty cool. Anyways, the TV show and movie were a big success, but Jimmy Neutron only ended up getting 4 seasons due to the fact that the studio that did the animations, DNA Studios, went under and ended up, going out of business. So they were unable to animate Jimmy Neutron, which led to it being canceled. Despite this, Jimmy Neutron did get a spin-off series called Planet Sheen. GAC. So this is referring to Nickelodeon's response to the fact that slime became the big thing. They made GAC, which is basically the same thing as slime, but a couple of differences. One, they released extra toys, such as this thing that would make your GAC into bubbles, and this thing that would spray out GAC, which was pretty cool. And the other thing was that it wasn't named slime, so they could copyright it. To this day, they still sell GAC, but only online, and they don't make commercials for it anymore. The Wild Thornberrys. The Wild Thornberrys was a 90s Nicktoon that is about this girl named Eliza Thornberry who goes to like the rainforest, Africa, I don't know, like exotic places, stuff like that. Now, if you're wondering why, it's because her mom and dad run like a nature show. So like she has to travel to these places so they can do their nature show. And if you ask me, I don't really like it. I was originally gonna like really dig into the show in this bit, but we're already at the 10-minute mark, like only like 20 seconds away. So like I don't really want to drag this out, so let's just get to the next entry. Oh, and one more thing, no one's allowed to start debates in the comments about this, but the Wild Thornberrys is obviously just a ripoff of Dr. Dolittle. So, as you can tell here from my very meticulous research, you can see that the first Dr. Dolittle movie came out like 30 years before the Wild Thornberrys even aired their first episode. So clearly, Dr. Dolittle came out first. Wild Thornberrys is a ripoff. Anyways, that's it for layer 1. Let's just hop on into layer 2. Game shows. So, by the way, because of the game show footage I'm showing here, this video will probably get copyright claimed. But hey, I can just go back and edit this stuff out if it does. Anyways, this is referring to the fact that Nickelodeon at one point in time was well known for their number of game shows. Some of these included Double Dare, Legend of the Hidden Temple, I think it's called, and most popular of all, Guts. A Day with SpongeBob SquarePants. A Day with SpongeBob SquarePants is a movie. It isn't exactly a bootleg. It's more like a mockumentary. Now, I don't exactly know what a mockumentary is, but that's not what I'm here to explain. I'm here to explain A Day with SpongeBob SquarePants. To give you a plot summary from a Amazon listing, A Day with SpongeBob SquarePants is a movie about SpongeBob living in Hollywood, but his executive thinks that he's going out of style. So they do a little, competition to all the kids around the area to see who can win. And if they win, then they get to spend a day with SpongeBob SquarePants. It becomes a big hit, and then some kid named Seth wins. Then their day doesn't really go as planned, to say the least. The movie hasn't come out yet and is currently on hold because the creator, who goes by the internet name Mr. Orange, is scared that even though lawyers told him that he could make it as long as it's a parody, he's still afraid that Nickelodeon will take action against him if he makes the movie. Classic Nicktoons. This is just referring to the fact that on merchandise and stuff like that, they're usually, the 90s Nickelodeon cartoons are usually referred to as Nicktoons or Classic Nicktoons. Also, one more thing. The video playing in the background is a video I found that goes through like the history of Nicktoons. And despite the fact that it claims in the beginning part that I cut out that it isn't cringe, I'll let you guys decide. It references a ton of old memes, and this also has dubstep playing the entire time. It doesn't surprise me that the video only outlines the history all the way up to 2016. SpongeBob popsicles. So this is just referring to the popsicles of SpongeBob with the gumball eyes that you would get out of like ice cream trucks and stuff. Recently there's been a big trend where you try to find the perfect one that looks just like the rapper, which is piggybacking off the old meme about how SpongeBob popsicles never look like how they're supposed to. Anyways, that's it for layer 2. Let's go into layer 3 already. Like, I can't hold my suspense. Worldwide Day of Play. So, the Worldwide Day of Play is every child who wants to just watch SpongeBob's just absolute nightmare. So basically what it is Nickelodeon shuts off all their broadcasting until 3 p.m. And all they do is play a commercial over and over again, showing some celebrities playing in like bouncy houses or something, probably to make you jealous. And then some announcer guy shows up on the screen and is like, "Hey there,
Email address withheld."
And then he kind of just like talks to you about how you should go outside, even though they don't realize that all they're doing is giving Cartoon Network more viewers. So yeah, the moral of the story is Nickelodeon doesn't like this guy.
No. Why you need to watch this video?
Gregory's Room. Gregory's Room is a creepypasta about this one guy who really, as a kid, wanted to go in there to Nickelodeon Studios and be one of the kids who tests upcoming shows and upcoming episodes to see if they're entertaining. Well, his parents are able to get him on a gig. So he goes in to watch this show that's going to be on Nick Jr. called Gregory's Room, about this guy who looks like wannabe Baldy, if you ask me. Anyways, the show is about this guy talking about what you and him will do together. But at the end of the episode, he talks about how there's no parents, no police, and no one can hear you, and how he wants you to embrace him, and that he needs love. And then fire starts appearing around him, and it starts getting corrupted and really creepy. And then, like, all the kids cry, and that's basically the end of the creepypasta. I personally am not very scared by it, but I do think it's pretty cool. Snick. Snick was something that Nickelodeon used to do on Saturday nights, where basically they would change their logo to this, and then they would play different commercials. Other than that, I have no real clue about stuff on Snick, or if there were different cartoons or something, and I don't even really know why they did it to begin with. The orange tape. This is referring to the fact that back in the 90s, when VHS tapes were still a thing, all of Nickelodeon's VHS tapes were orange. Well, whenever Nick first started, they were black. However, whenever the Nicktoons came around, they started being orange. However, in the 2000s, whenever VHS tapes were being phased out, but weren't completely phased out yet, they went back to black. However, apparently there were some rare ones that were still orange, but then afterwards, VHS tapes were phased out. Now that is the end of Layer 3. Let's just jump into Layer 4 already. I just can't contain myself to hear about what's in Layer 4. SpongeBob's Sick Pants. Originally, I was gonna put SpongeBob Hang Pants on here, but due to the fact that I like SpongeBob's Sick Pants on here better, I just put it on instead. Anyways, SpongeBob's Sick Pants was a Newgrounds Flash animation made by Oni Plays, and it's pretty weird. It will be linked in the description, so make sure to watch it, but I'll give you a summary of the beginning. Basically, SpongeBob gets a call from Patrick telling him that he wants to do something, I'm guessing, and then he goes to Patrick's house. They walk to Squidward's, and then they kill some dude on the way to Squidward's, and then Squidward kills himself because SpongeBob and Patrick are being annoying, and then Patrick asks for a Krabby Patty. And that's all I'm going to talk about from here on, because I recommend you watch the video. Anyways, I like this video. It has a lot of crude humor, like throw up and stuff like that. There was also a sequel of some sort made called The Sick Sims, but I'm not going to talk about because it's a Simpsons parody. Anyways, the only other thing I'd like to mention is that I like to think that this part of the video right here inspired this Gmod next spot. Animation Rewind makes Nick characters out to be overpowered. I just kind of threw this on because why not? But anyways, this is referring to the fact that Animation Rewind, who's a YouTuber who makes videos like Death Battle, like who would win in a fight, tends to make characters like SpongeBob and Dora the Explorer seem much more powerful than, in my opinion, they actually are. Rugrats Jewish themes. So this refers to the fact that the Rugrats has 2 holiday specials based around Jewish holidays, being Hanukkah and I think Passover, but I might be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Anyways, because of this, it quite obviously probably means that the Pickles family is most likely Jewish. Oh yeah, cartoon. Oh Yeah Cartoons was a series that was actually pretty popular on Nickelodeon. It was basically a series where Nick would play a ton of show pilots, and then whichever ones were the most popular got turned into real shows. This is how Fairly Odd Parents became a thing. Also, Random Cartoons' later predecessor, Random Cartoons, is the reason why Fanboy and Chum Chum is a thing, and is also the reason why Adventure Time airs on Cartoon Network. So maybe they should have kept Oh Yeah Cartoons. Jimmy Neutron Chicken Dance. So this is just referring to the fact that in the Jimmy Neutron movie, there's a scene where the aliens make all the adults do the chicken dance. And this is referring to the fact that for some reason, this scene was cut out of a lot of versions of the movie worldwide. I have no clue why. Like, do you guys know what's wrong with the chicken dance? Because I sure don't. So, layer 3 is complete. Let's get on to layer 4. SpongeBob wristwatch. So this is referring to the fact that at one point in time, Burger King sold these like SpongeBob themed watches that would like spin in the middle where it would tell the time, and it would also come with this little metal case thing that would you could put the watch in that was themed around the character the watch was themed around. Missing Astrology with Squidward. So basically, Astrology with Squidward was a short series that would play in between episodes of TV shows. Basically, in this series, Squidward would appear on screen, play his clarinet, tell a horoscope for whatever specific sign he was talking about in that episode, and then would say something else different, depended on what episode. Then he would play his clarinet, and he would end it by saying that he's your Nicktoons astrologist. Anyways, what this entry is referring to is the fact that so far only 6 Astrology with Squidward shorts have surfaced, and that's pretty weird. If you don't know, for quite some time these shorts were lost media because people only started bringing up to light the fact that these shorts existed in 2006, and there weren't any proof of these shorts existing until we found the 6 of them in 2014 when some dude uploaded them to YouTube, which leaves the question, where are the other zodiac signs? There is some people who claim that they know for a fact that they remember watching 2 zodiac signs, but other than word of mouth, there's no evidence of these 2 existing, and the other ones that people don't have any evidence of existing have no proof whatsoever, so it's completely unknown if those ones existed to begin with. As far as I'm concerned, I feel like that it's all 12 zodiac signs, and we just don't have any people who maybe remember watching them or something like that. Anyways, the hunt is still going for these zodiac signs, and it's been stuck like this for almost, I don't know how long. SpongeBob in China. So this is referring to a SpongeBob parody called SpongeBob in China, which is about SpongeBob, but if he lived in China. There's 2 videos in the series, but I'm going to talk about video 1 to save some time because it's shorter. It's linked in the description, by the way. Basically, to put it really simple, SpongeBob's trying to go to work, but he's like flabbergasted at what Patrick has to tell him. And by the end of the episode, I'm pretty sure they get murdered. Watch the video to find out the details. It's pretty funny. It's up there with SpongeBob's Sick Pants. Nickelodeon Florida Resort. So this is referring to a resort in Florida that Nickelodeon used to have. It was like that one thing that you always saw on commercials that you wanted to go to, but you knew you never were able to. Basically, it was like a water park thing with Nickelodeon characters walking around and rooms themed around Nickelodeon shows. However, recently, I think it was 2016, the place was closed due to them not getting enough money from it. This was probably due to the fact that 1, it wasn't even close to the ocean. 2, Disneyland was like 10 minutes away. And 3, I heard they had bad service. For example, apparently the rooms weren't well kept. So, that's it for Layer 5. Let's end off, hopefully, on a high note with Layer 6. The Wild Thornberrys Rammer PC game. So, this is referring to a PC game that I assume is for Flash, but I might be wrong. Comment down below if I'm wrong. About the Wild Thornberrys. I didn't watch many clips, so I don't really know what it's about. I don't know what Rammer is or anything like that. Comment down below if you know any of this stuff. But as far as I can tell, apparently this game is kind of like lost media because there's currently no way to be able to play the game. So yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong about that. Butch Hartman is a scumbag. So, this entry is referring to all the scummy stuff that Butch Hartman has done. To give you some examples, he borderline scammed people. Basically, he was talking about how he's going to make this epic streaming service with all the cartoons and stuff. And then he was like getting money donations so he could make it happen. But then, whenever he finally got all the donations, he was like, oh, by the way, all of the stuff will be Christian themed. And a lot of people felt like they got scammed because he never mentioned that at the beginning. Oh, and can I also mention the fact that it's been 2 or 4 years since he said this, and we still have no updates about it. So for all we know, this streaming service is never coming out. He also did stuff like make fun of Timmy Turner's old actor after she committed suicide. And he also did a ton of other just crazy religious crap. For example, there was the numerous times he said that autism could be cured with praying and crap. And that's his business. He can believe what he wants. I don't really care. But he acted like autism was a disease, and that's really scummy if you ask me. Oh, and by the way, this Super Mario Odyssey footage will be linked in the description. The Otis apparition. So, this is probably one of the most deep and lesser known things on the entire iceberg. So, they say that in the Back at the Barnyard video game, you should never enter the barn if you've completed all of the missions in the game. If you do, horrid things will happen. If you enter the barn, Otis's head will appear. He'll be floating in the air and see-through. And he'll tell you, you shouldn't have entered the barn. Don't ask why I did that in a Baldy's voice. Anyways, then he will fly at you and you must run. But the barn gets super long, and if you can't escape him, which is very likely because of how long the barn gets, he will catch up to you and then absolutely horrible things will happen to your console and your real life, stuff that I can't even describe, because if I do, this video will immediately get taken off of YouTube if it doesn't get copyright striked. One more thing. This is a joke entry. Squidward's suicide. Now, we both know you already know what Squidward's suicide, also known as red mist, is. But in case if you either have amnesia and don't remember, or if you've just, I don't know, somehow never heard of this, which is literally impossible, I'll do a very quick rundown. Basically, this creepypasta is about a lost episode of SpongeBob a guy watches because he's an intern who reviews episodes before they come out. And basically, in the episode, Squidward's practicing for a clarinet concert, and he gets interrupted by SpongeBob and Patrick playing outside, which leads to him getting angry, and then his clarinet concert doesn't go so well, which then leads to him blasting his brains out with a shotgun. The only other notable stuff to mention is that they actually referenced it in an episode of SpongeBob titled SpongeBob in Random Land, but sadly this was removed from the episode in later airings. The Loud House creator got fired. So this entry is technically our last entry under technicality speaking. So first, I'd just like to mention that currently what I was hoping wouldn't happen isn't happening, and that's that I didn't want this video to be as long as Deadly Mouse's Cuphead tier list. So hopefully it doesn't get that long with this last entry technically. Anyways, this entry is referring to the fact that the creator of the Loud House was fired in, I think, 2017. And this was due to the fact that he was accused by many people for sexual misconduct. Now, I'm not going to get into details because I don't exactly know those details. And even then, I wouldn't really want to talk too deep about them because I kind of want to one day be monetized, even though that probably won't happen, but still. So let's hop into the mini entry, as I'll call it. Welp, we're finally done. Took me 30 minutes to do all of this stuff. Well, it took me a few days, but you're only going to get to see 30 minutes of the entire work. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time, hopefully. Unless if this is late from me getting copyright claimed again.